Animal Crossing, the video game series that we all know and probably all love. It's one of the most popular Nintendo games of all time, hitting multiple records over the past few years, and it helps us all get through 2020. Not to mention its amazing soundtrack, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. I thought about how I wanted to do this, and I decided I'd look at a variety of New Leaf hourly pieces. I didn't look at New Horizons because everyone's saying it doesn't sound like traditional Animal Crossing music, which I'll get into in a later video, and New Leaf is the earliest game I'm familiar with. The pieces I've chosen are 2am, 7am, 9am, 2pm, 3pm, 4pm, and the title theme. So, without further ado, let's get started on point number 1, the chord progressions. Let's take a look at 2am first. This piece is in the key of B flat, which has B and E flattened. This whole piece pretty much vamps on 3 chords, B flat, G flat, and A flat. Relative to the key of B flat, these are the 1, flat 6, and flat 7. This flat 6, flat 7 1 cadence is very popular in Nintendo music. Just take a listen to this. Yes, you guessed right, this is the original Super Mario Bros. Level complete motif. As I mentioned previously, the 2am music also features the flat 6, flat 7 1 progression. While it's hard to hear because of the spacing of the chords, it is still pretty much the same thing. Some other pieces use this as well. We'll get into that later. Number 2, the instrumentation. The instruments used have a very big effect on the timbre of the piece. I'm going to be using 7am for this one. The instruments in this piece are piano, guitar, oboe, whistling, and some light percussion. You probably knows what I'm going to talk about here, the whistling. You never really hear whistling in any other pieces or songs, really. But in this case, the way that it's used is to make the song lighthearted and relaxed. You're not going to whistle during a boss fight or really in any hectic situation. It's really neat the way Kazumi Totaka integrated it. It's almost as if your player is whistling while they wake up and do their morning chores. Of course, it also appears a lot through the soundtrack, but that's the vibe it's giving off here. I also have 4pm in my arsenal to talk about the other characteristically Animal Crossing instruments. They are the accordion, steel pan, and then some funky synths, which is featured in many other songs as well. .4pm has all these in it, and while it does sound very dissonant, these instruments are staples to the Animal Crossing series that appear in multiple other games. Let's take just the accordion for example. It's in 11am in GCN, although I can't really tell if it's accordion or just some woodwind instrument, 7am in City Folk, even in 6pm for New Horizons. And it's everywhere in Wild World. And let's also not forget about the percussion. There are 3 main percussion instruments used over all of the New Leaf hourly pieces: shaker, wood blocks, and clave. Every song has at least one, so I'm not going to transcribe or show a new piece for this one. The other instrument that carries across the Animal Crossing is the wacky synths. Every installment has a lot of it. Number 3, the arrangement. How you arrange parts in a piece is crucial to the vibe it gives off. If the composer uses all of their instruments at once, it'll sound big and bold. However, if they use only 1 or 2 at a time, like Kazumi Totaka, it gives the piece a more laid-back, relaxed, chill quality to it. The 2pm music is a great example of that. It uses 5 instruments, but only 1 or 2 are played at a time. That aspect alone gives it an open, airy feeling, and is very characteristical to Animal Crossing. You'll also rarely hear one instrument playing more than 2 notes at a time. The only ones that I know of in the new Leaf soundtrack are the main title theme and 4 PM. Number 4. It sounds human. I know that header sounds horrible, like what does that even mean? Basically, there's an abundance of grace notes, accidentals, and missed notes in the music that makes this piece sound a lot more human. I'm not going to torture you with any more transitions, so 3 PM has a lot of grace notes, which adds to the piece's playful mood, when in some places it sounds like quick corrections to wrong notes. At the end of the piece, the woodblocks get quieter and even stop as the other instruments start playing, like the player got nervous. Also, something else that's neat about 3 PM, it kind of feels like a duet between 2 friends. The person playing the oboe messes up, and the piano messes up too to make them feel better. Which, both of those points combined, is kind of the whole point of Animal Crossing. You're chilling, when you get stung by bees, some villagers will give you medicine for it. Alright, enough with the English teacher. On to point number 5. Number 5, the references to the main theme. The 9 AM's pickup bar is a clear reference back to the main theme, like, just listen to it. The rest of the main theme has a lot of other good motifs to steal from other songs, which is a very genius idea from Kazumi Totaka. If you ever got stuck writing a piece, you can just choose a random bar from the main theme and boom, you've got yourself a bass line. You can also see this in the 7 AM music. The legato chords in the bass clef could be a reference to the legato chords in the main theme, but that's just for you to decide. Number 6, the build-ups. On the topic of the 7 AM piece, let's talk about its tension and resolution arc. Like most other pieces, it has an intro phrase, then a main phrase, and an ending phrase, and sometimes a phrase that sets up the repeat back to the beginning phrase, but sometimes that's just included in the ending phrase. You'll see this all over the place, even in the pieces I used as references. I may have some tension diagrams on screen right now if I feel like making them. Also, most of the songs are a minute long, they just repeat over and over again. Number 7, the rhythm. Many songs in the Animal Crossing soundtrack have a swing feel to them. That can be shown either by being in 12/8 or 9/8, so that every beat is already divided into triplets, or with this little symbol. Of course, there are also many more versions of swing, but this is just the most common one. The original version of the 4 PM sheet music that I used as a reference for instrumentation was written with 1/4/8 triplet, but the notation software I used doesn't have a setting for that, so I just translated it into 12/8, which works the exact same way, as long as you have the correct duration for the notes. You'll notice the percussion in a bunch of songs is very syncopated, which creates an interesting texture, but also helps propel the music forward. Let's look at 5 PM. Just the intro part is super jazzy. Listen to that flat 6 augmented chord. Very nice. Almost every piano note on it is on the end of each beat. 1, and, 3, 4. And the percussion is almost a clave rhythm. Here's what it sounds like isolated with a metronome. You'll notice that many other songs have syncopated rhythms too, which not only gives it character, but also creates a rhythmical tension that propels the piece forward. So, what if I wrote a song with these tips in mind?